Welcome to HR Hero on Call with your host, Joyce. Today I have an amazing woman, a chartered management accountant, a lady that's busy with mergers, acquisitions, a lady that has taken the financial strategy to another level. Nkateko, Mhlarhi, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think you're being too nice.
I think I left some other details, but we'll get to those details.
Yeah, definitely.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
All right. So let's break the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How are you feeling today using the weather conditions?
Oh, I always say sunny.
Yeah.
Sunny all the time. And I know it sounds like it's unrealistic.
Yeah.
But I always say, I love this song by Muzo Worship. It says, we are standing in the moments that we have prayed for. And today when I woke up, the moments that I've had, the space I'm in, it's probably something that I've prayed for.
Yeah, that's so prophetic.
I've prayed for. Yeah, so I think for me, sunny.
Yeah.
Is it as sunny as I want it to be? No, but it's sunny.
But it is sunny.
It is sunny. So
that's the fact. What matters is that it's sunny.
It's sunny. So
yeah.
if I was to use the weather, sunny, bright, beautiful, warm.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah, I like that. We're standing on what?
The moments that we've prayed for.
The moments that we prayed for.
Yes.
Wow, that's so prophetic.
Exactly.
I love
mean,
that.
if you look at it now, what we are doing now, it's something you probably prayed for.
You know?
So we are standing in that moment.
Yeah.
So whether you've had a bad morning or not, you're standing on the moment you've prayed for.
Yeah.
So
great.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying that. Okay. So if you were to be an animal, which animal would you be and why?
I think I was at a church camp and someone asked that. I'd be a jaguar.
A jaguar? Oh,
I know.
This is my second jaguar.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Kule, another friend of mine is, okay, why would you be a jaguar?
When you look at the characteristics of a jaguar, they're very decisive, very territorial, very peaceful to a certain extent, but very dominant. And
you don't hear a lot about them.
You don't hear a lot about them until you have to hear
until
about
they show up.
Yes, until they show up. So I think I'm like that. I love how they dominate. There's this verse that I like. I think it's in Deuteronomy where it says, wherever you set your foot, you shall behold that land.
Territory.
Your territory. And sometimes we look at it as a something to frown upon, to be dominant.
Yeah.
But I think there's a saying that says, nature abhors vacuum. Where you're not dominating, something else is going to dominate. So wherever you have been called to dominate with confidence.
Dominate with confidence.
Yes.
Take up space.
Take up your space with confidence.
Yeah.
You're not going to take up all the space, but wherever you're called, you'll take up that space, be dominant in that space. Because if you're not dominant in your own space, something else is going to dominate your space.
Oh, wow.
So
such words of wisdom.
So
you breathe in life.
A jaguar. You see how the black, strong, but you won't know it's strong until it has to be strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I thought you were going to be a lion.
No. That lion, has died. Eh?
That lion has died.
No, that lion has died. It died with age, maturity, and
wisdom.
And wisdom. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
A few years back, I would say I'm a roaring lion.
Yeah.
But there's no need. There's no need.
No need.
Yeah.
It depends on the spaces and places that we're in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and
over time, growth as well. Growth as well. I think as you grow, certain characteristics, certain things that you are known for, they fade as you walk into your journey.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So what's the last one? What do you say to yourself every morning?
Sure. I think that's in my character. Show up. Just show up.
Yeah.
I was having a bad morning this morning, and my friend sent me a message saying, "I'm proud of you because I always know that regardless of how you're feeling, you're going to show up."
Yeah.
So whenever I wake up in the morning, doesn't matter if the sun is gray. I mean, if the sky is gray, black, raining, thunder. It's going to show up. Show up, whether you feel like it or not. So that's my motto. But that's what I say to myself. We're going to show up regardless. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's powerful, eh?
Yeah, I think for me,
because we go through different experiences, storms, feelings, but you don't give up on yourself. You don't stay in. You show up regardless. There's power in that.
exactly. I mean, there'll never be a perfect condition for everything. There'll never be. There'll days you wake up, you don't feel like going to work, but you have to show up.
Yeah.
There'll be days you don't feel like going through your thesis. You know, you've just done your MBA. You know how that long that journey is. Imagine if you had woken up one day and say, actually,
Yeah.
we're not going to do this anymore. So I think for me, there's never going to be a perfect moment.
Yeah.
But just show up.
When we talk about that, I've been at the point where I was just scrolling through the MBA. I will detail this in my book, my upcoming. Yeah, so there was a time when I was scrolling when voices were saying, you're not going to make it. And I took upon myself and say, I will make it, because Jeremiah 29:11, it says, God knows the plans that he has for me, plans to prosper me and give me hope. I held on to that and I pushed through.
And the funny thing when you quote that verse, sometimes when we say, God knows the plans he has for me, we always think it's perfect. We always think it's going to be a smooth riding MBA ride. There's not going to be life challenges. But remember, when you're doing your MBA, life is still carrying on.
Life is still carrying on.
And every challenge, it's just as much part of that journey. And yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
beautiful. Show up. That's the word for today. The word for today, show up, regardless of your situation, regardless of your circumstances.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Cecilia, you're a chartered management accountant.
It's such a unbelievable thing. I recently started a new job.
That's just
And-
the first title. Yeah.
Yes, that's the first title, and that's the one that it was very challenging
Yeah.
to get to. And I just started my new job now. I was saying to someone, I had to design my give inputs for my signature,
Yes.
email signature.
Yeah.
So it's the first time that I actually get to put my credentials, and I kept on typing. Because your results come out,
Yeah.
and then you get the certificate, and then
Yes.
it's more like life carries on. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
And now I had to put it on email signature. I had a moment like,
Yeah.
I even went to LinkedIn. And I started to check, equally qualified people,
Yeah.
like, how are they writing it?
Yeah.
That's a designation that I've always wanted.
Yes.
But now I was like,
And now you have it.
now I have it. And then I
Yeah.
put it on email signature, and I'm like, is this right? Did I put the C before the M, before the... So, yeah. it's that's what it is now.
It's such a beautiful thing to, look forward to something, work towards it, and then get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the lesson in that is also to, when you get it, appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think for me it was, I got it. I'm moving on to the next
To
one.
the next. We always do that. You get it, what's next?
Exactly.
And life shouldn't be about that. Take a breath, appreciate it, and then move to the next.
Yes, and I think for me also appreciating that is also you counting and acknowledging that blessing.
Yeah.
Because it's the moment you move on, it's almost like it was meant to happen. It's happened. Forgetting the challenges, forgetting the prayers, forgetting how God has just pulled you through. I remember when I wrote my final exam, I was actually coming from a wellness center. I was not feeling well. I remember one of my therapists said, "Are you sure you really want to write this? Do you have to?" And I said, "We've started, we're not going to give up." But by the time when the results came out, I actually had forgotten how much it took for me to actually go and sit for that exam. So that was the
Yeah.
lesson for me to say, yes, for the first time I felt proud when I put it there, and I'm like, but why did it take me writing it on an email signature to be proud of it, to be thankful? Yes, I thank God for it, but I
Yeah.
feel I didn't stand on that moment and just enjoy, be excited, be proud.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what happens with, what do they call it? High functioning people.
Yes.
Joyce will move from from LLB to this to MBA, and you just think it's such a natural thing. It's not such a natural thing. It's something
You
worth.
always want to get better, ahead. Yeah. What's next? That's our language. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So how did you start? So now you're this big boss, big titles. We'll get into the mergers and acquisitions, the turnaround strategies for businesses. your financial strategy, but I just want to get a background understanding. Where did it start?
Sure, I was actually thinking about it. In high school,
Yeah.
believe it or not. So my daughter loves biology. So
Yeah.
whenever if we're ever arguing about biology and she doesn't believe
Yeah.
that I know biology. So I did biology and accounting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought,
Yeah.
feels good.
Yeah.
Did accounting and biology. I knew I was very strong with accounting and mathematics. I think I got a B for both accounting and mathematics, but I didn't know. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to pursue.
Yeah.
I actually remember making applications at UJ. I applied for a BA in communications.
Yeah.
I went and I studied BA in communications. First semester, I was excluded.
Why?
I failed.
Why
failed.
would you fail communications while you can comprehend?
now that
It's all about.
it's like, now actually of late I'm like, I'm such a natural communicator. That's why I couldn't fit in that thing.
You know?
I was like, no, actually
Yeah.
I'm such a natural.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know.
flow.
So it was, for me it was, it's high school. You have to go to university. Everybody was going to university. Come high or hell, whatever. I needed to go to university.
Yeah.
I got space for BA marketing communication. Marketing communications. First semester, I just flunked it. Got excluded. Second semester, I went back home. I was the talk of the town, talk of the family. That that one that
She
was-
couldn't make
she
it in
couldn't
6
make
months.
it in 6 months in BA in
Yeah.
communications.
No, just talking and writing.
That's what people
Comprehending.
think, and that's what people think. And for me, going to UJ was such a shock. Coming from Zanin, Limpopo, I remember the other time I was in it was the first time I was in the library.
Yeah.
I had a memory stick.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to use it. It was the first time that there were so many elements that were introduced, and I don't think psychologically I was prepared for that.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
I was just overwhelmed. I
Yeah.
was overwhelmed to be going to school, to going to class with white people.
Yes.
I was overwhelmed going to class. Nobody really sees you. Nobody cares whether you're in or out.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't cope. I went back home.
But it was not a measure of intelligence. I mean, look at you now.
I was not gifted.
It was just a setback. It wasn't for you.
I always think we all have our places of brilliance.
Yeah.
And that was not my place of brilliance.
Yeah.
That was not my place. And there are people that are very brilliant with marketing,
Yes.
with
Communications. Yeah.
That's what they're
Yeah,
called
yeah.
for. And for me, that was not it. I remember I went back home, applied for BCom accounting at the University of Free State. I went there, and when I started to go to class, and I'm like, okay, I think this is.
Did you go to yours?
Yeah, I went to yours.
How come I didn't know? All this time.
Yeah, I went to yours. I went to yours.
Because you were not communicating.
I was not exactly.
You were the lion. You were not communicating.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it was
Yeah.
very far from home.
Yeah.
Now I had an experience of what varsity looks like.
Yeah.
I did my first year, second year, third year flunked. Now that's when you're doing the big four.
Yes.
Flunked. I decided, this flanking thing, now you've never failed in your life in high school.
Yeah.
Now it's like this failing thing
Yeah.
is becoming
It's becoming a norm.
It's becoming a norm, and you don't even know how, because you've never experienced this. Now you don't know how to handle failure.
Yes.
You understand? And
Yeah.
self-condemnation. But I've always been that one person that just keeps on going.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that I feel God has given me is resilience.
Yes.
I failed.
You bounce back. You're a tennis ball. Boom.
Like I
And then you're
literally
up.
come back.
Yeah.
I literally come back.
Yeah.
I always say to people, I'm not a runner, but if someone was to put me for the comrades, I think I was just gonna crawl through that marathon.
Yeah.
I was just gonna crawl.
As
through-
long as you get to the
as
finish
long
line.
as we get there.
Yeah.
As long as we get there.
That's important.
So I think for me, I started to investigate what is it that I can do now that I'm in my third year. I failed.
Yeah.
What can I do? I said, okay, there are people that are doing their articles without completing
Yes.
their degrees, but that was not a norm for black people. So I went.
Oh, we didn't know about it.
We didn't know about it.
No, we didn't.
But and also for me, I always find it unfortunate that for us, and not to be pulling the race card, but by then you couldn't, as a black child, go and do your articles without a degree. Before they could even open a door for you, you needed to show your your certificate of your degree. But
It feels like you have to work twice or thrice as harder to get to where you want to be.
at that time,
Yeah.
it was like that. And I'm glad that there are a lot of black accounting firms
Yeah.
opening, because now that opportunity is open to a lot of people, that you
Yeah.
are able to study while you are working and gaining that experience. And if you look at it, if someone starts their first year of articles and the articles are for 5 years because you don't have a degree,
Yeah.
by the time they have a degree, they've got 5 years worth of working experience. You come with a 3-year degree with 0 working experience. You understand?
They would be preferred over you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Even-
because they can already function.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You know how the workplace.
Yes.
You've just adapted to varsity.
Yeah.
Now you need to adapt to the workplace.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I made a plan. I didn't make a plan. I think God always takes me to unprecedented paths.
Yeah.
So I went Afrikaans dominated firm. They were servicing farms.
Yeah.
I don't know Afrikaans. I found my way there, got my first job. I'll
Yeah.
never forget. I was
Yeah.
earning 2,500 and I thought it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money.
2,500.
Yes, I was earning
Yeah.
2,500. I'll never forget.
Yes.
I went to Edgar's
Yeah.
to open an account because
Yeah.
now I could afford to buy
Yeah,
my own clothes.
I remember those days. Yeah,
Exactly.
Opening an account was like a big thing.
Like, if
Hey.
you could. I had a pay slip.
Yeah,
A pay slip.
yeah.
So, yeah, I started my articles there. I moved to the Auditor General Nelspruit. From
You
there,
worked for Auditor General.
yeah, girl, I've been everywhere. Like, I've been everywhere.
I've also
So-
worked for them.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. You see, that's why I said before we started, it's coming a full circle.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's becoming a full circle. So
I
I worked
agree.
for the Auditor General. I moved firms again.
Yeah.
Now I started to understand that there's the public sector or private companies and
Yes.
the government audits. So
Yeah.
now I went to a firm that was offering both. Private companies and the
private.
private companies and government
Yes.
audits. So I started there. I moved. I had my first commercial job. I was a creditor's clerk in Johannesburg. It was the first time in Johannesburg, first time
Yeah.
in corporate. It was a lot of adapting.
Yeah.
You moved from learning life in varsity
Yeah.
to now learning life as an article clerk. Now you are in the real, there's no young, old.
Yeah.
You're all at work. You're all professionals.
You're navigating life, the real life.
Whether emotional intelligence, whether
Yeah.
professionalism,
Yeah, of course.
you learn, you
Yes.
learn there, and I must say I've made a lot of mistakes along the way.
Yeah, we all do.
I've
Mistakes are part of life. Embrace them.
Exactly. So yeah, from there I started to go into corporate.
Yeah.
And I always say that was the start of my corporate journey.
Yeah.
And I said God actually set me up so early, and I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Every time I got a job, there was something wrong in the finance department. There was something wrong. Like there was just something wrong.
You
in
just
the
had to
finance. Like,
fix
you
it.
know my experience.
Yeah.
You know my
The
experience.
fixer.
The fixer, exactly. I didn't know. I
You
didn't
are the
know.
fixer.
Yes, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I didn't embrace it.
Yeah.
And I got so frustrated. I remember saying, but I always saw people working in those big financial services companies.
Yeah.
You've got a tag in, you've
Yeah.
got this, desk
Yeah.
with everything working.
Fancy.
The
Desk,
reports are
yeah.
coming out and flowing.
course.
Every time I started, either someone has messed up the finance department or we are starting a finance department. And I just got so tired.
Yeah.
At some point, I was depressed. But when I went, the next company, and okay, I know what usually goes wrong. This is where we're going to start.
Yeah.
I know where stock is missing. I know how stock is missing.
You were building experience.
Now
Yeah.
I knew from my experience
Yeah.
that, okay, if we're fixing, if it's messy, this is where you start.
Yeah.
And I started to do it. The next job, it's, my last, I'll say, only 3 of my positions, it was like smooth sailing. There was
Yeah.
no fixing, there was no, that's when I started to say, but what job? And I started to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I started to feel the satisfaction of, moving the mess into something more structured. I'm a very structured person.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of frustration
Yes.
as I started to say, what is
Me too.
happening? What is
Yeah.
happening? You understand? So I started to embrace it, like, okay, now, and I started to see that where there's a mess, that's where you make the biggest impact.
That's where you make the biggest. I was about
Yes.
to say that because I've also for 3 organizations where I had to literally start HR department from scratch, no policies, nothing. So from the thinking, building the people strategy, we call it the people strategy now, but traditionally known as the HR strategy, building HR strategy from scratch, making sure that there's policies, they get to be signed by the board and stuff. So I can actually relate to what you're saying. It's a lot. But even if you do in those circumstances 25% of what you know you're supposed to be doing, you're still a winner.
And the lasting impact, just going back and hearing how your initiators have outlasted you.
Yeah.
It's just very satisfying.
It's
how
very satisfying.
people's lives have actually been made easier within that environment because you were there.
Yes.
You understand? So, that's been my journey.
Where
And
you set your foot. Yeah.
exactly, you behold that land.
Yeah.
You understand? So I think for me, I started to embrace it.
Yeah.
Whenever now I started to see that, okay, we've put this thing together and I can see how life has improved for everyone. The satisfaction started to come. Then I started to learn, okay, what kind of job can I, or what kind of qualification can I have to be a professional just for that? Then I started to hear about turnaround strategies.
Yeah.
And I started to hear about business rescue practitioners. I started to be very interested. Like, I started to call myself the business doctor. I was like, okay, I'm doctoring, I'm fixing, I'm the fixer. And that's,
You are a doctor. You're a business doctor.
I'm in the interest of the wellness of businesses, financial wellness.
Do you want to talk about that for people listening to us who don't understand in terms of a business rescue? You are certified in that.
Yes,
What exactly do you do for businesses?
Okay, so I've never practiced as a business rescue practitioner. So business rescue practitioner, you literally register with the CIPC.
Yeah.
You become a certified business rescue practitioner. You start as a junior, as you get experience, senior, and you become a lead basically after that.
So you're still on your journey?
I'm still on my journey.
Okay.
As a junior, I'm still a junior. So usually a business will get into trouble financially.
Yes.
Where now they are starting to not be able to pay their salaries, their creditors, and just struggle.
Yeah.
And we've got a law in South Africa to say when you get to that, you are reckless trading if you continue to trade. Because now you can imagine you are busy getting goods from suppliers and you're not telling suppliers you can't afford to pay them.
Yeah.
So now you are affecting other businesses as well, their livelihoods. So what government has done is put a legislation to say...
that's what they put. That's when they put them under, we hear often under administration. Or is it a different case?
It's almost like that.
Yeah.
So they would put a government department under administration.
Okay.
Yes. So now it's almost under administration. You're trying to rescue the business.
Yes.
Right? From failing.
Yes.
Now you look at the livelihood of the people. You look at the value that this business can still, you can still harvest for its stakeholders.
Of course.
Yes. So what happens is government introduced in the Companies Act called Chapter 6, Business Rescue, where we are saying that this business, yes, it's not doing well, but still has potential. There's still either intellectual property that we can still realize, value that we can still yield, that it can still yield for its stakeholders. So what we're going to do for at least 6 months, we're going to protect this business.
Okay, so we're assessing potential and then see if we can protect and save it. Before we get into
so
writing it off.
Writing it off, liquidating and closing it down. So for me, it's, I always say business rescue, it's like, when you're going to the ER, they don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
You either complaining with a headache or a chest pain. They don't know if it's something terminal. What they do, they just stabilize you.
Yeah.
And then they start making diagnosis and say, okay, you
I
are
see.
terminal, or we can still... Do we need to amputate just one leg for you to survive? So for me, I look at business rescue. You pause, you freeze, you assess what's wrong with the business. How can we save this business? And then from there, we say, okay, this business can actually be saved. We go into a formal business rescue. We redefine with HR positions. Who do we need?
The most important position,
Yes, exactly. So who will still bring value in the company? What resources do we need? So basically, and that's where the business doctor comes in. That's where I said, it's actually you're doctoring the business. You're taking it to ER. It's in ER. You're trying to stabilize it. You're trying to see what can you still get, what kind of medication does
Yeah.
this business need in terms of people, strategy, and bringing back the business. And I think for me, it's one thing that has been so beautiful to watch
Yeah.
in South Africa. Yes, we still have a lot of businesses closing down, but not all businesses are closing down.
Yeah.
They're given opportunities to be rescued, and we've got a lot of successful stories when it comes to
Yes.
business rescue. So yeah, that's been my journey. So I've never been practicing as a business rescue practitioner, but I've internally been a turnaround, be it operations, be it financial turnaround, be it. So I've been very much involved in that space.
In
So
turning around businesses, strategies, and all of that.
yes,
Financial strategies.
yes, that is my first love. That
Yeah.
is my first love.
Yeah.
That's,
So you've got like a variety in terms of experience from retail, manufacturing, media. Where else? You've been everywhere.
I've been everywhere, and I feel I still haven't been to all the spaces
Yeah.
that I would love. But you know, it's always God that takes you there. I always
Yeah.
say, God has laid out the path for you to just hear the prompting of the Holy Spirit. And for me, the positions always come. They don't come the traditional way. I will be looking, applying, and say, this one is
Yeah.
my ideal one. And God will bring it. I remember starting a new job, and I said, God, the next job, we are not fixing anything. We are not because you know it takes an inordinate amount of time. It takes a lot of sacrifice
Yeah,
setting
it
up
does.
a finance department or fixing a finance department. And I said, God, I'm in my soft era. I don't want to detect fraud. I just want it soft. I just want it soft. Literally, that was my prayer. I want it soft, and I don't want to see if there's something happening. God, can my eyes not see? Can my eyes just not see? You don't know God. God was like in the midst of it.
In the midst of
He will
it.
put me.
Yes.
He sets me up for
In
that.
the middle of the fire.
In the middle of the fire,
Yeah.
He's like, "That's where you belong."
Yeah.
And I started to be so accepting,
Yeah.
accepting of it. I said, I don't want to go into a company and be looking.
Yeah.
I don't want to go and be looking, but God always opens up your eyes, prompting of the Holy Spirit. And I think for me, all things work for the good. And there's never a position that I'll say I regret taking up, be it turning around a finance
There's
department.
learning
There's
in-
learning.
yeah.
There's also growth.
Yes.
There's also growth. There have been positions where I said, you would know. I would say, I would go wild because I out of frustration.
Yeah.
And from there, I started to say, okay, how do I manage my frustrations better? How do I manage my temper better? How do I improve my, in the process of fixing?
Yeah.
How do I communicate with stakeholders? How do I get stakeholder buy-in? Because when things are moving so smoothly, you
Yeah.
don't need a stakeholder buy-in. You don't need to convene a department and say, this is what we are trying to do. Can you please,
Yeah.
support me? Everything is moving smoothly. So I think for me, in all those positions, every position I've ever held, I appreciate God for it. I'm very thankful for it. There's a lot that I've learned about myself as well, not just technically,
Yeah.
but about myself as well. Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
that's been
you
my
are in
journey.
your soft girl era, like literally in the true sense of the word. For those that don't know, Cecilia and I worked together, and you used to give me a tough time.
I always
So let me put it this way. If you work for corporate and in organizations, HR and finance, it's always salt and what?
oil and water.
Yeah,
But-
and it was no different for us. But you gave me tough time.
I always
But
say
here we're sitting now with a soft
full
girl.
circle. Exactly. All things
All
work
things
for the
work
good.
together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think for me, and I always say, if you go to every company,
Yeah.
they'll probably say, and I don't have a bad reputation.
Yeah.
I have a reputation of giving HR run for their money.
Oh, as a
Yes.
so I wasn't the only one.
You were not the only one. I always feel for me, the whole point of a business is to make money.
Yeah.
Or is to make profits, improve the livelihoods of people.
Yeah.
And for that to happen, you need people.
Yeah.
And sometimes I match HR and the money and the finance part of it, and I said, no, with how things are, we're not going to get there. We're not going to get. But that's where the stakeholder engagement lessons came in for me.
Yeah.
And you'll see every time I give HR run for their money. After that, we get on house on fire. We get along very well because it just needs that aligning. But with every position, I've actually learned to say my biggest success factor is HR.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my confession.
That's your
so,
confession.
That's my confession to say I always give HR a run for their money.
But we realized it very soon because I think maybe fortunately or by grace or by, I don't know how to call it, but we are aligned spiritually, and I think that's what makes things better. Because when we spoke, we're like, when I said, Cecilia, but why are you doing what you're doing? And then you're like, no, but the Spirit of God is the same. I also wanted to speak to you. And I'm like, oh, yeah. We figured it out, and we realized that actually the issue was not the departments. The issue was something else that we don't even know what it is now.
Exactly. And for me, the word of God says, occupy until I come.
Yeah.
And I think one thing we don't take seriously is that even when you're in the marketplace as a corporate woman, it's your place to occupy.
Yeah.
But you're not occupying alone.
Yes.
When you say occupy, it means dominance. Who are you dominating with? Another child of God. That's how we're going to make a difference as Christians.
Yeah.
And I think for me, those conversations that we had, and I think it also goes to conflict management.
Yeah.
It also goes to understanding your mandate as a child of God, to say the fights that we're going to have, they're not benefiting anyone.
No.
They are not going to benefit anyone. And it was, every experience is beautiful. Just beautiful.
It's
Here
beautiful.
we are.
Yeah, and we picked up some lessons as well on the way, and I think that's what contributed to where we are, growth.
Exactly. And I was saying to someone, people that saw us working together, if they listen to us today, I think they're going to have a love of their lives. They're going to have a love of their lives to say, those two. And that is the beauty about life. That is the beauty about life. That is the beauty of reconciliation.
Yes.
Realizing what you can do together.
Yes.
And for me, this
I'm loving it.
A full circle moment, and just how good God is. Actually,
I'm really loving it. Okay, so what advice then would you give to anyone wanting to get to be into your position, chartered and management accountant? I think most people are not familiar with that. Most people are familiar with chartered accountant. Do you maybe just want to clarify the difference and then say what advice would you then give to people wishing to get into the space?
I think for me, the difference is the space or the speciality you want to go into.
Yeah.
So the normal CASA route, everyone knows that, you do the big four: auditing, taxation, management accounting, and why am I forgetting the other one? Financial accounting, financial reporting.
Yeah.
So in that space, as you qualify as a chartered accountant, you decide, where is your area of interest? Do you want to go and be an audit specialist?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a tax specialist? Do you want to be both? Do you want to be in financial reporting and tax specialist?
Yeah.
That is the normal route that we know. And there are a lot of, I think I love how things have evolved now. There's a lot of opportunities with just CASA, specializing, adding on top of that, having decided what, where's your area of speciality.
Yeah.
And then management accounting, it's part of the big four. So for me to be chartered global management accountant, you see, it's management accountant. It comes also from the big four. It's taking that route. So I would say it's me specializing in commercial finance. It's me specializing in cost and management accounting. It's me specializing in business strategy. That is the route that I decided to go. And growing up, definitely I wanted CASA. I still want CASA. I'm writing my board exam actually this year.
Wow.
So, so
you're on the move.
I think it's one of those things, I love finishing what I've started. So it's one of those things. I did my CTA. I remember the year that I did my CTA. I had a 2-month-old baby. My dad passed away that year.
Oh, sorry about that.
It just threw me off. And when I qualified now, I said, I've always wanted to do it. I don't want to go on with my life, and I say I've always wanted to do it. So I am definitely doing that. So, but going back to your question, chartered management accountant, it is, certified qualification by CIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. It's a UK-based accounting body,
Yeah.
so you become sort of globally recognized, as opposed to the CASA, which is
Okay.
a South African.
Yeah.
So it's I'll say it's more it's more of the juristic differentiation. So
Yeah.
CASA
It's
is
global.
the accounting. CASA is the
It's
accounting body in South Africa.
Yes.
CIMA is an accounting body in
Yeah.
the UK. But in terms of recognition, our CASA is as much globally recognized and sought after.
Yeah.
So those are the different
I hear you.
difference in terms of the certifications. And I think for me, you see a lot of now, same way that I'm trying to pursue now,
Yeah.
you do see a lot of CASAs going to the CIMA route. You see a lot of the CIMA qualified accountants going into the CASA
Okay,
route.
so there's that kind
it's,
of movement.
I love the opportunity.
Yeah.
I love the fact that there is information
Yeah.
available for everyone, for a lot of the young people as well coming up. So yeah, that's the whole thing. I think for me, I'm still wrapping around, and I think for me the one thing that made me not to pause and say finally I've done it is
Yeah.
because immediately I was like, okay,
Yeah.
can we just go and write the second cycle board exam?
Yeah.
And I never paused, and I
never
think
paused, yeah.
whenever now I'm starting to have conversations like, I'm SIMA qualified now, I'm SIMA qualified, it's exciting.
Yeah.
But I think for me it's it gives you great opportunities. With South Africa also housing some of global corporations, you don't have to explain yourself. It's something that they are very familiar with. I've worked with various global organizations that are great in all continents, and I didn't have to explain myself a lot with regards to that. So those are the opportunities that I've seen that come with that. And like I said, also the CSA is sought after. So there's plenty of opportunities. I always say to people, the primary function of a company is to improve the livelihoods of people,
Of course.
via finances.
Yeah.
So if you are sitting in the heart of every business, you're sitting in the heart of every business, and sometimes I think that's why
Yeah.
you're the enemy of every
Yeah,
department.
of course. Okay.
Because you're holding the purse.
Yeah, you're holding the pace. Oh,
Good.
thank you. That was very
Yeah.
insightful. So as we wrap up, how do you want to be remembered?
Sure. How I want to be remembered.
Yes.
I was reading this verse, if you allow me to read it.
Yeah, sure.
It's Romans 12:8. It says, if your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it is giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. And if God has given you a gift for showing kindness to others, do it gladly. And I would love to be remembered as someone that walked and fulfilled their calling.
Oh, wow.
And for me, I don't want to contain it to, I want people to remember me. I think in pursuit of what I think I'm called for, I'll be remembered.
You'll
in
be
one way
remembered,
or
yeah.
another. I won't be remembered by everyone, but
Yeah.
in that space that God
Yeah.
has just allocated for me, I want to have occupied it and have I want to go empty.
Yeah.
I want to
I
go
hear
empty.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for joining the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I think it was too short, actually. I think
It feels like it was
I was come back and then we just do.
You
We
know,
just carry on. And
yeah.
then the editing department will see what they
We'll
do.
see what they do. I think you
Exactly.
must come back. This
Yeah.
is a good duo. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was Cecilia Nkateko. Nkateko is a financial strategist, financial manager, chartered management accountant, and her story is beautiful, encouraging. Let's be intentional with our development. On to the next. Thank you.
Thank you.